Adam, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So aside from being here and doing this interview, how is your job different now that you're COO?
Well, we made a couple of changes over the last quarter. And one of the things that I've done is inherited some new responsibilities. We brought the revenue product team closer to my team and also the media team. But in general, look, I'm having the time of my life. The product and the business are going really well.
Now, we have to start with user growth because by one metric, you lost 2 million core users. Then Jack says, well, it's actually ticking back up. What's actually happening right now with user growth?
Yeah, so what's actually happening right now is that our user growth in January has bounced back to our original levels. And we're confident actually in the product work that we have ahead. And that product work will drive user growth to a sustained period of growth for the long term if we execute. The product changes that we put in place already, in fact, we made one yesterday where you can turn on a simple switch and get the best of Twitter in your timeline. We think things like that, while small, will continue to refine what's an iconic product.
You say a sustained period of growth. How confident are you? Give us a confidence check. How confident are you that you can re-accelerate user growth?
We're confident in the product roadmap, and we're confident in the trends that we're actually seeing. And some of the trends actually are already good signs that we talked about in the earnings call yesterday. Our DAU, for example, in terms of as a percentage of DAU, daily active users, to monthly active users, actually went up for this past quarter. So the signs are there for sure. But make no mistake. Product execution ultimately will drive user growth. We feel like we've got a great product roadmap, and we're confident in the road ahead.
How confident are you in Jack Dorsey, who has another full-time job?
Yeah, so Jack talked about his ability to manage both jobs on the earnings call yesterday. I can only speak from my point of view. I've seen him in action, and from a product standpoint, he's unbelievable with the team. He's got a vision for the company, and I'm fascinated by him and his ability to execute at the company, and he's doing a great job.
Now, you live and breathe Twitter. You built the revenue engine for this company. How do you deal with the sort of incessant negativity that surrounds the company, and how is it impacting morale? I mean, we know a lot of people have left. We know more people are looking.
Yeah, look, I think the morale of the company, there's a massive set of determination at the company to prove the outside world wrong. And look, we heard this on the business side too. 5.5 years ago when we started the business, the question was, hey, how are they going to monetize the business? If you look at 2015, we had a really strong 2015 in terms of revenue growth, close to 60% year-on-year growth for 2015. In Q4, for this past quarter, what we just announced was revenue that was over 50%. On a constant currency basis. So there were questions about our ability to monetize. We've proven them wrong over the last 5.5 years. And I look at the next 5.5 years as a great chance to prove them wrong again.
On that note, though, revenue growth is slowing down, and guidance suggests upwards of 40%. It was 48% last quarter. Revenue growth seems to be slowing dramatically. What's going to turn that around?
Well, so let me talk a little bit about what's happening in the business. In our revenue stream on the advertising side, we have two categories of advertisers. There's big branded advertisers. So these are people, for example, that run TV commercials and the like. And then we have smaller performance advertisers. These are people looking for clicks and conversions, and mostly with inside of digital spend. The brand advertiser business is the largest percentage of our business. And the growth there, since we've covered most of those advertisers, the growth there is going to come from just growth in budgets. Although we're growing nicely, we just launched video advertising, for example, on Twitter, and that's growing budgets. The performance business is a smaller set of our advertiser revenue, but it is extremely fast growing. And ultimately, we have a product-driven approach ahead to drive that revenue stream as well.
And yet, that's the business that people are concerned about, direct response advertising. Why are you having trouble with that?
Well, it's not that we're having trouble. We started with the branded advertising business first, and this was the thing when we looked at 5.5 years ago in terms of the business. The big brand advertisers were already on the platform. And so we didn't have to Pied Piper them to the platform. We knew that if we could just make it easier for them to expand business on Twitter, it would be successful. And we saw it this past weekend during the Super Bowl. During the Super Bowl, 90% of the television advertisers were also running ads on Twitter, and over 50% of that budget was actually running with inside of our video platform as well.
Why don't you create a model where the best content creators can share revenue from promoted tweets? I mean, if this is a social platform for creators and users, why not make it a money-making opportunity for them? It worked for Google.
It's a great idea, and it's actually something we've already started. So Jack talked a little bit about one of the key priorities for us was around creators and helping drive creation on the platform. On the video side, we've got two initiatives. One is our Amplify program, and this is a program for premium content providers to bring content on the platform and share in revenue. We now have over 225 television networks and premium content providers doing this in 25 countries all across the world. We've begun to expand this out to move beyond just premium content providers to allow other creators to upload video and share in the revenue that we sell. And then the second thing we're doing is we have a platform called Niche, which now has over 25,000 content creators who use the platform. And essentially what it does is it helps bring together advertisers with content creators so content creators can provide great content for those advertising campaigns.
So we hear the rumors constantly about Twitter selling. Have you considered selling? Have you gotten offers?
Well, the board has fiduciary duty to shareholders, and I think from the management team's perspective, our goal is to increase shareholder value. And we believe the roadmap that we have ahead and the team that we have in place is a strong team, and we're continuing to see growth.
LinkedIn is worth 50% of what it was a week ago. You're trying to turn around a company in an unforgiving market. I mean, is there any part of you that thinks maybe this would be easier or better if we were private or if we were under someone else's wing?
Look, we don't even think about that piece of it. Here's what we do think about. Twitter is a live platform. Live is amazingly powerful for people. It's also amazingly powerful for the business, and it's our core strength. You see on the video side, for example, products like Periscope, which we've now integrated into Twitter, are incredibly compelling for both areas, consumers and the business side. So I feel like we have all of the right pieces in place. The business is growing, and ultimately consumer growth will be there as well.
Why not innovate faster or bigger? Like, why not just do away with the 140 character limit right now and see what happens?
So we have started refining the product. In fact, yesterday we turned on a feature. I encourage you and the people at home
I've seen it.
to turn it on. It's an extension of our While You're Away feature, which is if you haven't been to Twitter for a while, we bring the very best tweets right to the top of your timeline. You simply pull your timeline again and you go right back to live. And what's great about it is, we have over 300 million pieces of or content creators on the platform who are giving incredible insight and information. You think about just what's happened over the last 2 weeks, for example, in the political realm. Politicians, when they want to speak directly to the world, they do it on Twitter first. For the Super Bowl, we had players and journalists who were communicating about the game, and actually a player who was at home who decided to retire, Marshawn Lynch, just through a tweet. So I think you see examples like that, and you can't help but think and know that Twitter is a platform that is going to continue to really dominate.
Jack says his #1 priority is recruiting, especially in the executive ranks. Where are the holes? What are the gaps that you think need to be filled?
Well,
now that you're COO.
Yeah, a big one actually was on the marketing side. Communicating the value of the company to consumers in a stronger way was definitely one of the priorities that Jack and I had over the summer as we laid out the strategy for the company. I'm happy to say we've done that. Leslie Berlin, who's an incredible executive from American Express, has just joined us and actually started this week as our Chief Marketing Officer. And she's going to get right to work to help do that, both on our performance ad business and also for TV as well.
One more question, you're going to like this one. You're known for being so nice. In fact, Recode actually turned that into a headline. But recently, I've been seeing a little bit more attitude from Adam Bane. When Wendy's and Burger King had a smackdown on Twitter, Facebook said it happened on quote-unquote social media, and you weren't too happy with that, according to your tweets.
I love Twitter, and I want to make sure that people understand the true power and impact that it has in the world, and it is powerful.
Are we going to see you being like a little less nice?
I can be a little bit less nice.
All right, Adam Bane, COO of Twitter, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Here.